what we have here is my backup server, and what we're going to be doing is transferring it out of this case. Now, again, I like the other one. I don't know if I've actually made a video talking about the upgrades I've done to this. It's got a different motherboard in it. This is the MSI A78M E35, which has got my A750, A10 5700 APU. And I think it's got 8 gigs of RAM on it. Yeah, it's got 8 gigs, and that's pretty much all that's changed. But what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm changing this case because I need to change this power supply because it's just some piece of crap. And this heatsink is in the way of this power supply, so I can't change it while it's in here. So I'm going to convert this, which I don't think is the right term, but I'm going to move this over to another case, which should also give me some more hard drive bays, which should hopefully alleviate some of this tight space here. I'm going to have to see if I've got some 5 1/4 to 3.5 inch adapters. That may be an issue, I don't know. I'm hoping that it's not going to be, but we'll find out. And hopefully as well, I can upgrade 2 sets of drives, because the way that this works is that there are 4 different volumes for storing backups, and then there are 4 additional volumes on top of that for backups of the backups. And I'm hoping that I can upgrade some of them to 4 terabytes. So I bought another 4 terabyte, not one of these Iron Wolf drives, it's actually a Western Digital Red. But I have 2 4 terabyte drives. I'm going to replace those first. And then the 2 terabytes that I've replaced, as well as 2 brand new 2 terabyte drives, which are sitting right there, are going to be used to upgrade these RAID arrays, which are 2 terabytes apiece. They're both 2 1 terabyte drives in RAID 0. Yes, I know it's RAID 0, but again, they're backed up, so if something fails, who cares? So we're going to do that. We're going to have things set up like that, so that way I've got 2 4 terabyte volumes and then 2 2 terabyte volumes, and it'll be backed up like that. You get a sense of what I'm going to do. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm kind of half asleep. It's, what, 8 o'clock? It doesn't feel like 8. It feels more like midnight, but yeah, it might be getting a little late. And it is certainly getting a little late because it's dark out, so I'm going to have to do this in the dark. I wanted to change the case while the system's outside, so I'm going to check which drives I need to remove from this, and well, we'll see where we go from there. Okay, here is the old case with the system in it. I'm going to go ahead and run the air compressor, clean it out, just because you might as well start with a new slate. There is the new power supply. There, 600 watt, 80 plus certified. This is the case. Obviously that power supply is going to be coming out. And I believe this fan is also going to be coming out because I don't think it's any good either. I mean, it spins, but it just doesn't seem to spin very fast. So I'm going to just pull that out, replace it with the fan that's already in that case, because that case is going to be getting a different fan. So we might as well. But you can see we've got, looks like 5 drive bays here. And then there's a couple there, and I think there's 4 total for the 5 1/4. So it should be more than good enough for what I'm going to do with it. But I gotta get this figured out, and then I'm gonna probably get my work light out so I can at least see what I'm doing. Okay, that's much brighter. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna undo all the power supply wires. Alright. Board's in place in the new case. So now with the old, I just have to deal with the cabling and getting these drives out, and then of course on a case-by-case basis with the 2 serial numbers, replace them with the 4 terabyte drives. Alright, first of all I need to clean the camera lens. Didn't really help, but second of all, now I've got all these drives that I need to put in. I'm going to start with these ones. And I'm going to do that so that they go in the same order that they came out. Just because I'm kind of a little bit anal about that. I hope that they're all going to go in the same place. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be pulling them all out in one fell swoop anyway, but... Alright, there it is. all nice and installed, everything. So I just get to deal with those 2 drives now. Couldn't be the ones that were sitting loose. Of course not. No. Or the one that was in this stupid adapter here. I hate those. No, it had to be the 2 that were in the nice big adapters, thereby increasing the amount of work that it takes to replace them. But that's no matter. Hopefully I can reformat those drives. It's not going to be a pain in the butt about that. Alright, there. Everything's in now. I have even room to grow. Isn't that nice? Now I gotta get the power supply and all the cabling installed. It's usually the hardest part. Alright, here we go. Everything I believe is hooked up. Hopefully. Including the 2 new drives. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the cover on this, I'm going to bring it inside, and we'll get the data transferred that needs to be transferred. And then I can pull out all of those 4 drives that are down there. Actually, I'm trying to... that's not hooked up. I forgot about that one. That might be problematic. Oopsie. Okay, I've got it plugged in now. I had to use a Molex splitter and add this 4th SATA plug in here, this additional SATA plug, because I don't have enough. Which means I'm probably going to have to add 1 more, because eventually I may add 2 more 2 terabyte drives for another volume. Or I might just wait until I need to replace the other 4 terabyte, or the other 2 terabyte volumes with 4 terabytes, and then put the 2 terabytes here for an additional set, additional backup set, and use that for like the archive, the show archives, because those technically aren't backed up anywhere. And I'd like them to be backed up somewhere. I just don't have enough space anywhere for that at this particular point in time. So one of the cables just came disconnected. I may need to replace that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to replace this SATA cable too, because that's kind of a little loose. So I guess I'll do that, and then I'll bring this thing inside. Look at this. I'm so confident this is going to work, I put the cover on. Well, that was kind of dumb. I'm going to take the cover off again anyway, but at least if it explodes, it won't blow up in my face. Did come on at least. Will it post? Let's see. A2. Next thing that should come up is the Rocket RAID Splash. No degraded arrays, please, or missing arrays. Disabled arrays, I guess. Both of them should be there. Of course, there's a problem. I don't understand why. What a pain in the butt. Let me figure out what the hell is going on. Okay, it looks like the new cable that I put on there to replace the broken one apparently isn't any better, because it's not locking either. So it came undone. We'll see if it actually holds out. But all the drives are accounted for. So, at least as far as the motherboard's concerned. So we can get out of here. And now we can let it start up. And it will also see this, which I have plugged in. I don't really need this USB 3.0 card, because this board has USB 3.0 on board. But I figure I might as well just leave it in there. There's no sense in not. We'll see if it actually stays working, or if I get an error, starts beeping at me. Okay, so backups 2 and backups 1 and emergency 2 are missing. You can see there, which is good. I mean, it's not good, but it is good, because it means that we're not going to be missing data. So what I need to do now, I need to go to disks, and yes, I'm recording a computer screen with a camera. Who cares? And I'm going to go clear configuration and import disks. Oh, I did verify that at least the front panel power switch is plugged into the right place. So that's good. I think that's probably standardized. Alright. So, you can see think everything is correct. There should be 2 4-terabyte drives, one of which is unformatted. So everything there should be okay. There's 9 disks, one of which is the boot drive, the rest of which are the data disks. We'll hit apply. I'm not going to worry about the standby and all the other crap. Although the one thing I should have done is gone in and made sure that all of the smart monitoring was turned on, so I'm going to go do that. Okay, now here I bet is where the problem is going to take place, because I don't think this thing is really capable of formatting already formatted drives. So ADA2 is 4 terabytes in size, even though I know it's already formatted. I'll want to reformat it so that way I can get rid of all the data that's on it. I wonder if I can do both of them at the same time. No, I don't want to do both of them at the same time. So we'll try this one, and we'll call this one what? Let's call it Backups 1. I think that was the, yeah, that's the one that's missing. So we'll format it. I think my camera's out of battery. Even though it said it had 3 minutes left. It hasn't even been 1. So we'll try and format it. And I'm sure it'll fail. I guess I'll find the power supply for this camera. Juicing up the camera, and we can see here it actually did not fail, which is neat. Can I have my mouse, please? There we go. Everything is good. So I could hit OK on that. And what was the other one that was missing? I think it was Emergency 2. Yes, so the other one is going to be called Emergency 2. That is this ADA 3. Again, we'll hit Next. That should be Emergency 2. That's our unformatted drive. We will hit Next, and we will hit Format. Okay, so now our mount points will need to be adjusted. So Emergency 2 is wrong. I'm going to just go ahead and select that. We'll hit Save. And Backups 1 is also wrong. I don't think that's going to work. Alright, so I'm going to have to delete that one. And I'll hit Apply. So those ones are all good now. Can I change the description on this? I don't actually remember now. So we'll assume that it's this one. Backups 1. Storage of system backups, I believe is what this should be. Storage of system backups. Everybody has read, write, execute. Good. Add it. We'll apply it. So now, if we go to the home page, there we go. There is everything. So I'm going to now run the rsync jobs, and both of those could take forever. Hopefully they won't, but I expect that it'll take at least 2 hours to do that. Certainly. So we come to rsync, we go to local. Which ones were the ones I needed to do? I don't remember again. So Emergency 1 to Backups 1 needs to be backed up. That's this one. I need to run it. So we'll execute it. Go back to rsync local. Now we need to do Backups 2 to Emergency 2. That's this one. We will execute that one now as well. Alright. So now, both of those should be running. And we should see some data transfer taking place, which we do, to both of those drives. Oops. Which we do. So now it's just playing the waiting game. If you're wondering what the power draw of the backup server is, it's roughly 110 watts. Of course, it ebbs and flows a little bit. I think I've seen it go as high as 125. But that's not too bad, considering what all is in this thing. There's a lot in it. This is a 600 watt power supply, so it can take quite a bit more. It's getting very hot. I'm kind of surprised by that. Okay, so made some changes because I realized that I had gone based on which volumes were on the RAID arrays. So there's 2 RAID arrays obviously in there, and while Emergency 2 was the right one to replace, what was the other one? I think it was Backups 1. Backups 1 is not the one that I needed to replace otherwise. That was Backups 3. So I've now had to do some rearranging work here, and I've now got 3 rsync runs going from Emergency 1 to Backups 1. So that's 1.28 terabytes it's going to transfer over. And then from Backups 2 to Emergency 2, 1.21 terabytes it's going to have to transfer over. You can see that's what it's done. And then on top of that, Emergency 3 to Backups 3, which needs to transfer 1.71 terabytes. So there's a lot of data that's moving now on this machine. I'm surprised that there's not more of a system load, and that I can't run that a little bit faster. It kind of would be nice if it could go a little faster, because I believe that as it is, it's going to be sitting here overnight to make this transfer finish. It was even slower if I were to sit here and wait for it to go over the network. So, just to try and do the transfer through Windows. I figure, whatever, we might as well just let it do its rsync runs, let it sit overnight, and let it finish things up. Okay, so now it's the next day, and as you can see, everything is now synchronized. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and shut it down. Yes, the USB device fell off the table and disconnected for a second. Didn't seem to affect too much. And then we'll replace the 1 terabyte drives with 2 terabyte drives. Make our new arrays, and that should be it. Okay, they're now out and very hot. I'm not sure why they're so hot, but I don't even think I can move them from there. They're so hot. Like, you touch them, it almost burns your hand immediately. Pretty bad. I'm not sure what it is about these RE4 drives that makes them get so hot, but they do. Here we go. All of the new drives are in place. Probably odd to put a fan there. That might have actually helped with the heat situation, but I don't know how I'm going to put a fan in there because the screw holes are only accessible from the back or something. I don't actually really know how these screw holes even work. Okay, you ready to go? Hopefully. It's Control H to get into the setup utility for that thing. Which you almost certainly need to do. We'll give it a bit, since it's going to take a bit to post. Here we go. Control H. Hopefully it doesn't ignore me. We are missing a drive, of course. Why would we not be missing a drive? Okay, here we go. The power connector wasn't on. So I'm going to have to initialize all of those. We're going to create a RAID 0. We'll call it Backup 1. Is that what I hit? Yeah. Alright. 4 terabytes. No cache policy. We'll create. Then we'll create another one, RAID 0. Call it Backup 2. Set the remaining devices. Good to go. Alright. So So that should be okay. Now hopefully, when we boot it, it will be okay as well. Okay, so if we take a look, we could see backups 2 and emergency 1 are missing. Emergency 3 is also going to need to change. So I know that I'm going to need to change the emergency 1 mount point and the emergency 3 mount point. Those will need to change. So we'll apply that. We'll leave the rest of it alone. I'm going to go into disk management. And we'll clear configuration and import disks. Alright. So, there we go. There's our 2 4 terabyte thingies. We'll apply those changes. They say unknown or unformatted, which is good because they shouldn't be formatted. And then what was the... Oh man, I should have actually looked and saw which one it was that I needed to format otherwise. Whoops, that was dumb. Okay, so we're going to go UFS on ADA4, reformat it, hopefully it won't break it. Let's check our mount points, which ones are actually available. That one should be emergency 1. Oops, where am I going? Yes, emergency 1. All of that's good to go. We will hit next and format, and this is the one that'll probably fail. Huh? No, it won't. So I think the issue actually with these things failing is that I have to remove the mount point first. Here's something doing work in there. Alright, so that's done. Then I'm going to have to do the same thing for these two DA0 and DA1. So it's the same process with those. Alright, everything is now formatted. So now we can go back to our mount point. And backups 2 needs to be fixed. Interestingly enough, it looks like even this one uses the shingled magnetic recording method. Thought that was kind of strange. I didn't think they would. So I need emergency 1, which is going to be what? That's a 2 terabyte. So that's ADA4. Let's choose one. ADA4, GPT partition 1. Emergency 1. And this is what? Backups of system backups. Alright. So I'm going to get all this figured out because it's pretty boring from here. And we'll deal with all these mount points. Then I can get that thing back where it needs to go. Alright. And just like that, you can see everything is now set up properly. So I'm going to shut it down again, and then I'm going to put it where it needs to go back in the server rack. And then we can start all these transfer processes, which are going to take forever. Okay, are we ready? Hopefully we are. And there will be no problems. Wouldn't that be nice? Problems usually only show up once I put that thing on the rack, so probably be a degraded array or two. Because I know that some of those cables are pretty loose. I don't know why. It might be the RAID card, actually, that's got the problem. But there's no degraded arrays, so that's neat. It looks like it is actually going to boot to the right thing. Okay, so you can see I'm running that transfer now from emergency 2 to backups 2, so that way those are synchronized, because those are my server backups. I'm going to have to transfer or rerun backups from other machines and then resynchronize it. Just the same as on backups 3, I've unlocked the firewall and I need to come in here. I need to actually find it. That'll be the first thing that we need to do. It's this drive here that we need to back up. Go to backups 3, and that will be my VHD stuff. We'll call it September 2021. We'll hit next. It'll work. We're going to take out all this crap because we don't need it. We'll hit finish. We'll save it as VHD storage. And we'll run it now. And that should work. That'll take up a fair amount of our existing free space. But we should still have plenty of room for incremental backups and such. So, we'll let that do its thing. And I think that's probably going to really do it for this video. There's not much else that I really need to show. So, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below.